So I'm on day 18 or so, maybe 19, of my viral flu that I've been overcoming. It's been intense, to say the least. See if I could see if I could show you this. Show you some phenomena right now. See the red foot, bright red. My feet feel really good right now. My kidneys feel like I'm growing wings, literally out of my back. My kidneys are just like taking everything from everywhere in my body, and it's like my kidneys are killing and destroying the virus on their own. Well, probably synergistically, but my kidneys are like going through their transformation right now, and it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. It's mind blowing. It's absolutely mind blowing, and how powerful the kidneys are, and how they actually modulate and work with the immune system in order to overcome various viruses. And that's what's happening right now with my body. Is my kidneys are just all my symptoms, most all my symptoms anyway, completely went away. My kidneys just feel like they're on fire a little bit, and they're just lit up. And as that got stronger and stronger, all my negative symptoms in the rest of my body went away. My kidneys, they hurt, but they, all the negative effects of the virus everywhere else in my lungs, and that was mainly it in my lungs. That went away, and my third chakra area. I felt a lot of pain in here as well. But I could tell the divine and the Kundalini is doing its thing, this transformation, the body, the immune system, it's all working perfectly. I've had similar things like this happen to me previously during various stages of my Kundalini awakening. So my Kundalini did all kinds of things in various stages, and I early on in my awakening process, I had my energy going into the kidneys, and they hurt, and my kidneys swelled up, and they were so sore. I mean, I couldn't even get out of bed for like 3 months once, pretty much. I was bedridden most of the time. They hurt so bad, I thought they were toast. I thought I'd screwed them from taking too many painkillers, acetaminophen and Tylenol with codeine and things for years and years and years. I thought, oh, I must have damaged my kidneys. The Kundalini was going through and healing the damage, and healing them and infusing them with divine energy and power and ability to do be able to deal with different particles and amount of I don't even understand. Like, I don't really understand. I've heard some teachers talk about it, and they say, allows your kidneys to deal with heavier loads, basically. It can deal with other things, heavier loads, more powerfully, and whatnot. So, I mean, what's going on? I don't know. Science has no freaking clue. I mean, science is so behind this Kundalini thing, and I don't understand every little detail of it, but I feel it, and I can feel this now, and it's very powerful. And I feel like I'm right on the tail end now of this going on almost 3-week journey of overcoming this coronavirus, and it's been pretty intense, to say the least. And I even had pneumonia. I had what felt like acute, I thought, pneumonia in the lungs. Just a lot of pain. I can tell they're hurting right now, but that'll heal over time. And I just need to keep taking vitamin C and good proteins and lots of vitamin A and different things like that to heal everything up. In fucking tense. This is pretty hardcore. I would say it was almost pretty close to when I poisoned myself with the world's most poisonous mushroom, the Amanita muscaria, or not muscaria, sorry. I can't remember what it's called anymore. The death cap. That's the actual name, or the key name for it anyway. The death cap. It's an amanita mushroom. And I guess it might be of the Muscaria genome or something like that. But yeah, I ate that a few years ago, and I ate enough probably to kill like 5, 6, 7, 8 people, at least. I'm thinking 15 to 30 grams at the very minimum that I ate, probably more than that. And that was pretty intense, to say the least. I was hiking in the bushes on my way home, and I saw all these beautiful mushrooms and picked them and brought them home, and I cooked them up. It was absolutely delicious. It was one of the best meals I've ever had in my life. Ever cooked, just made up, like best mushroom meals, that's for sure. It was really tasty. And I ended up eating these things, and yeah, it went through me, and it was maybe 4, 5, 6 hours it took for me to start noticing subtly the effects it was having on me, for me to recognize what's happening to me, just barely recognize it. So I was quite lucky being Kundalini awake, and I'm very sensitive. I'm able to detect and sense things very, very, very subtly in my body, and my tongue lit up like battery acid. It felt like my tongue was touching a battery, like a 9-volt battery, and I could feel this acidic taste in my tongue, and I'm like, what was that shit? So I go on the Google images, and I type in a death cap, because that's that's just the first thing that came to mind, I guess. I type that in, and the first picture that comes up is the exact same mushroom that I just picked and ate like 4 of them in this big bowl. It was like a couple pounds worth of food, maybe 2 or 3 pounds, I don't know. And holy crap, it was a mixture of different mushrooms, but that was one of them. And then I knew that. I knew I poisoned myself. I knew I just ate the most poisonous mushroom in the world. Same one that the Iranians recently had. 49 of them died, or half of them had liver transplants, the other half died. In this modern era with their modern medical system and all that there. So, and they have a very good medical system in Iran. Now it's just being strangled by the West, because America's trying to destroy everything and every righteous nation in this world that is standing up for anything good and true in this world. So, and that doesn't bow to Satan, basically, the devil. So they half of them died, quarter, all this stuff. The modern day mortality rate, I believe, is about 11%. So it's even higher than Corona, generally speaking. Okay, or maybe it was around 11. So I had like a 10% chance of death. But I also knew secrets that not many people perhaps knew about. I've heard. And so I took the advice from this gentleman, and it worked, and it helped, taking these natural things. In particular, it was, well, there's a lot of things I did. Milk thistle seed, though, is so powerful, it'll save your life. If you've ever been poisoned by this amanita, it can save your life, your liver from having transplanted. And it can heal your liver from long-term damage permanently, so it reverses liver damage permanently, and of all forms. So I mean, like whether it's alcohol poisoning or anything like that, it's very, very powerful, and it's something that people should definitely consider using to make sure that their body is healthy in the long run. Anyway, so yeah, I was taking that, but I did so many other things to get to heal that day. Starting on day 1, and the divine guided me and helped me and led me through it, and it was one of the most excruciating experiences I've ever had in my life. It went on for 2 weeks. I was sick and throwing up and purging 20-30 times a day at least, over and over, and projectile vomiting. I had, diarrhea, couldn't hold anything down. Every time I had to barf, it felt like I was dying, literally. It was like, imagine the worst hangover throwing up you've ever had in your life times 20 or 30 at least, at the very, very, very least. 80 maybe, or 8, I don't know. Like the worst hangover you ever had. Now, if you haven't had a hangover, you won't know what that means, but it was really horrible, man. It felt like I was dying literally as I was throwing up. Like, oh my God. But as soon as that was over, all those negative symptoms went away and I felt back to normal immediately. And if those symptoms continued, I would be like in a hospital right now. But I didn't go to see a doctor. I didn't see anyone. I healed myself. I relied on me and the divine and all of the things I knew. I didn't even bother to see a doctor. I done that many times in various scenarios where most people would have got hurt badly or whatever. I've healed broken toes that were shattered and bleeding all over the floor. Even when jogging on that foot at night, raining down a highway, barefoot with that bone visible from my eye and its foot slapping on the ground. I come home and there's no infection. Never, and it healed eventually. That toe took a long time to heal though, because I abused it pretty badly. Yeah, I've been through a lot of shit. And this is no exception. And it was intense. It was intense. It was just like pretty close, if not a little worse in some ways than the poisoning I had from the mushrooms. Actually, it might be less even, to be honest. But yeah, well, I'm here. Well, the mushrooms, so like those mushrooms I ate, the first thing I did after I noticed, I looked them up and I learned that what they were. I went up and I told my family. I'm like, Dad, Mom, I'm poisoned myself. It's 9 o'clock at night. I could go to the hospital or I can stay here one night and see what happens. And see how I feel in the morning. And of course, the first thing they would have done is pump my stomach and clean me out of whatever was in there. But before I did anything, I just prayed. I prayed to the divine. I put my hands to the sky. I said, Lord God Almighty, show me the way. Show me what it is I need to do in order to heal myself and totally, in the most efficient and perfect way, exactly what I need to do for me here in this moment. Show me the way and make it happen through me, Lord God. And I did that. I said that, and then the divine just jolted me and pushed me outside, out onto the porch, off onto the lawn. Suddenly my mouth opens up, I bend over, and I projectile vomit further and in a way that I've never ever done in my life. I've never seen anyone do. It was literally like a stream going about 6 feet in front of me, and everything that was in my gut just flew out of me onto the ground. And completely purged my gut, and even I think somewhat of my small intestine. I think the divine pushed things up, because this was like good 5-6 hours or so after I ate. You'd think there'd be some good amount of food already digested and in the small intestine. But for me, it was like I looked at the pile of puke on the ground, and it was literally looked like every last morsel that I'd eaten was purged, and there it was. So I mean, what the hell is the doctor going to really be able to do for me after that? A few things, like maybe giving me activated charcoal or something like that, but I already had my own. Basically, I had bentonite clay, and I use bentonite for healing, cleansing, purging, all kinds of stuff in my body all the time. And so I did that. That was one of the first things I did. I'm like, well, fuck. I mean, bentonite is the same thing as basically as charcoal, activated charcoal. Like, activated charcoal is coals when they hit water at about 1,000 degrees temperature. Bentonite clay is where volcanic ash comes up from superheated hydrothermal vents in the ocean and in fresh water, and hits and steams. Same thing as you basically get when you're making charcoal. It's the same process. It's just one of them is natural and one of them happens in the earth and is of minerals content, and the other is plant-based. It's a tree, right? Anyway, so I downed a bunch of that stuff, and I don't know how much it really helped, if it, at all, because that stuff generally attracts metals and pesticides and other things. The body can detect whatever the body can detect that it knows shouldn't be in you. It'll push into that, like it's an immunomodulator. It works with your immune system, works with your body, and it pushes junk into it very effectively. But I don't think this so much had. The body doesn't know what to do with it. It just can't see it. It can't deal with it. So, as far as I know. Anyway, so it gets into your liver. So obviously it goes through the blood. It gets into the liver. But then that's where usually it'll destroy your liver, and you need a liver transplant in like a week or two, or else you're gonna die. It used to have a 70% mortality rate, in the 20s and 30s, or higher even maybe. So anyway, I healed from that. I took milk thistle for my liver, and I prayed, and I did mantras and affirmations every day. I wrote down affirmations in big block letters on pieces of paper, and that was one that really helped me as well. Writing it down helps a lot, especially when you have Kundalini. So I did that, and it just infused. The divine infuses everything you make, right? So I did that, and after 2 weeks, I was almost completely healed. I felt pretty good. I'm day by day. I'm getting a little better. I go to Gleaner, or to the swimming pool in town, and I go pee, and my urine is like bright red, and I've never seen that before in my whole life. I've never seen my urine ever bright red like that. And I did read earlier that Amanita can literally disintegrate your kidneys completely, like literally, like disintegrate them. And my kidneys are just speaking to me right now. They're like grabbing onto whatever it is they need in order to evolve, like change and heal my body of this virus. It's crazy. But anyway, so I'm looking down, and there's blood. It looks like blood anyway in my urine, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? And I started getting really afraid. I just felt weak, shivering. My body's like, oh my god, looks like I'm gonna have to see a freaking doctor. Like I haven't done it now in 2 weeks, but my urine's starting to go red. Like that means my kidneys are bleeding. Blood's coming out of my urine. Okay, it means my kidneys are being destroyed. My kidneys were hurting at the time too, a little bit that day, and I'm like, whoa, what's going on? And then I started freaking out, and then I went, I had the fear is really what got to me. Fear and the panic. Somehow it just got into my chakra, into my body, and I just felt weaker than I had in weeks or in days. And then I go back to the bathroom an hour later, pee again, and there's no color this time, nothing there. It's just clear white. I'm like, oh my god, thank god. Turns out it was beets that I had eaten earlier, or borscht. And I've eaten borscht. I'm Russian. My mother's Russian, grandmother's Russian. We've eaten borscht for generations, and I've eaten it since I was a little boy, and I've never had that happen before. So obviously the mushrooms did something to my kidneys, but it didn't permanently damage them. So I ended up healing there. I felt way better once I realized that. All my problems went away, and that was it. So after that, I was done, and I ended up healing, and everything was okay. And later, I took a little tiny piece, like a gill worth of mushroom that I left the bowl of it in the fridge just to see and test later, perhaps. I was thinking, what should I do with this? Or to give it to the doctors. I kept it in case I needed it for identification or whatever. But I ended up just to test it. I'm like at week 2.5. I've basically healed. I don't feel sick anymore. I'm feeling good. I take a tiny gill like about the size of your pinky fingernail. Literally, it was just like a flake like that with a little bit of peanut sauce on it. I ate that, swallowed it, waited a little while, and within like an hour or two, I started getting extremely sick, and I started projectile vomiting as bad as I was on day one, as though it was like literally like the first day I started throwing up was one of the worst days I felt. It was probably the worst day of it all. And I felt just like day one all over again from the tiniest little piece. And I had eaten like 2 or 3 bowlfuls of what was in the fridge there. 2 or 3 bowlfuls I had inside of me. And there I had just this little flake, and it caused me that much problem. And oh my God, it was, it just showed me how poisonous this stuff is. And I think it was like marinated, and all the poison kind of came out into the sauce over that 2-week period and made it a lot more potent in some ways, or quicker acting. Anyway, that was intense, and I survived it. I made it through, and I've been through a lot of other stuff similar to that during my Kundalini awakening, and this is no exception. So I mean, this one was intense too. I just know that anyone can heal from it, even if they have pneumonia-like symptoms, lung issues, that kind of stuff. You can heal from that. I had a lot of pain in my lungs. I had a lot of, and I'm still healing. I can tell my lungs are hurting right now. Like they've been damaged slightly, and they're going to need a lot of vitamin C, a lot of minerals, a lot of things to heal them. And I've been doing that. I've been feeding them, and I feel great right now. You see my energy. I don't feel that bad. As I say that, though, something in my throat there kind of felt funny. But yeah, I'm on day, I believe, 19, I think. 18 and a half or 19 days that I've had this virus. Been the most intense flu virus I've ever had in my life. I've never been this sick. Never felt that much. It's just crazy. Wild. A lot of pain in the lungs, a lot of pain in the third chakra area, a lot of just like intense pressure up in the upper lung cavities. You know, I'm a vapor. I smoke, I do smoke e-liquid and things like that. And I was smoking even during 5 days into the symptoms, before it hit my lungs. But when I was in my sinuses and in my throat and everything, I was still smoking. And I recommend if you notice you're getting any symptoms whatsoever of any kind of flu at any time in the next however long that we're concerned about corona, don't smoke, quit smoking, quit vaping completely. Utterly and absolutely get off that, because for me, like, I couldn't, if I had even the slightest puff off of my vape, which is relatively clean, and compared to tobacco, it's very, I don't feel sick at all. It doesn't cause me any problems that I'm aware of, or that I was aware of, until I had this virus come. And holy crap, it hit me so hard. I couldn't smoke. After a while, I was forced to. Once it got into my lungs, I could not smoke anything. I had to quit that. The only thing I'd breathe in once in a while was colloidal silver, nebulized. And I've got a machine now that actually does that. I don't know. Where is it? Yeah. I don't know. But, yeah, I use colloidal silver and vitamin D and all that. And if I knew better, I would have done it a lot sooner. I also used agarikon, which is one of the most powerful medicinal mushrooms on the planet. It's very known for treating lung issues, respiratory illnesses, viruses, and other things like tuberculosis. And tuberculosis has a similar outer lipid as the coronavirus around the virus cell walls. There's this outer lipid, this layer around the outside of the cell of this coronavirus that allows the virus to kind of hide and move itself and morph itself so that it can evade the immune system in different ways. And this thing dissolves I guess, those lipids, and those viruses can die then. And it's an immunomodulator, and I found it, with Paul Stamets on Cortez Island during one of his seminars. I found 2 of them actually, and this is one of the most medicinal mushrooms in the world. And I also found one of the most poisonous there at the same time, the same day. And Paul checked them out, and yeah, he confirmed this is agarikon, Fomitopsis officinalis agarikon. They're very, very powerful antiviral medicine. And it tastes fucking amazing. They're very sweet. They're very sweet. There's some kind of flavor in there. It's kind of like minty almost, but not quite. It's very unique. It's very different. First time I ate that while I had this flu, my whole mouth lit up like I'd swallowed coals. I've never felt anything like that before. I swallowed it, and my mouth lit up, felt like it was on fire. I felt this burning sensation. And then I started chewing on some vitamin C. And the vitamin C, where it touched the skin where that agarikon fungus was already in my mouth, it felt 10 times more intense. Felt like, literally, like I was swallowing coals, like into my, down my throat. It burnt. It was like I could not, I had to spit out the vitamin C. I had to keep it away from that area because the immune system was just going wild. And I couldn't believe what was going on. I've never experienced that. I've had that mushroom sitting on my shelf for 12 years. And I've been eating it. I've been using it here and there, for flus and every circumstance, cleansing, healing when I'm going through difficult times. Never had that experience before. That's when I knew. As soon as I ate that, I knew I had a serious virus, probably the corona. I haven't been tested for it, but I've been self-quarantined now for like 2 weeks, and I'm staying away from people and doing everything myself because I don't want to. If I don't have to, I didn't want to. If I didn't have to, I didn't want to burden the system already. I wanted to see what can I do, how can I heal myself and take care of myself. I always do that anyway. I've been through near-death experiences many times, and I've healed myself. So I had faith in myself, and I knew I'd make it. And that's one of the keys to overcoming this thing. It's faith and strength and certitude and determination and never giving up, no matter what your body is telling you, no matter what the energy is in your chakras and your body. You say, no, this thing, I am bigger than you, no matter how big you might seem to me. Okay, you're 160 flu viruses in one, 160 times worse, or 100 times worse, or 60 times worse, whatever it might be. You say, I am bigger than that. I am bigger than that. I am bigger than this. Whatever it is I see, doesn't matter how hard it hits me, doesn't matter how much pain I'm feeling, doesn't matter how much intimidation or fear seems to be trying to jump into my stomach or wherever it is, I am bigger than that. I am bigger than that. I'm able to overcome that no matter what. No matter what I feel and no matter what I'm experiencing right here, right now. I am greater than that, and I'm able to overcome this no matter what I'm seeing and feeling and hearing. You just, keep saying that. If you're gone through that, hopefully you won't have to. I doubt you will. But, a lot of people out there they'll go through different things. The 80% of people just kind of get normal flu-like symptoms, and that goes away. Some 15% to 16% have more acute symptoms, and then only about 3 to 5%-ish end up getting severe. Actually, in some places, it's even lower than that. It's like 0.4. It depends on the country. It depends on the people. It depends on their health. It depends on their amount of sunlight they're getting. If it's in a country where there's a ton of sunlight and everyone's getting light, probably they have enough vitamin D. They're not going to be getting nearly as many high death rates. Vitamin D is very critical for all kinds of viruses and flus, so make sure you're getting that however you can. whether through nature or through supplementation. And it is so important to have that in order for the body to be able to overcome the virus. And Kundalini is trying to tell me, there's more and there's greater, something deeper than that. Your spirit, your love, your heart, and your soul, has everything you need in it in order to survive regardless, no matter what you're going through, no matter what supplies you have or don't. Yeah. So, we do, and we work with what we have and what we can get our hands on, and we do the best we can no matter what. And we will. So, it's been an intense day for me. I've never felt my kidneys feel like this for a long time. It feels just like they got tense and energy flowing through them and a lot of pain, but they felt like wings. They felt like a mountain in my back. Like a mountain is going into my back. Two mountains, one on each side. I'm being pushed into my back. And then as that started, all my other negative symptoms from this virus went away everywhere pretty much. Unless I did some things here and there, and I felt it in my lung a little bit here and there. But, yeah, I've talked to other individuals in this town who've gone through the same thing, and theirs lasted 3 weeks. I'm at 2.5 weeks. So it feels like I'm at that end, last run here, at the very end. And it's been really intense. Very, very intense. But it's been one that is growing, and yeah. What doesn't kill you will make you stronger, and you're going to survive whatever is coming to. I just want you to know that you're blessed, you're loved, and that there's always a way, no matter how dark the way may seem, and to always hold on and follow your heart, no matter what is happening. Never give up, and trust yourself. Trust in your deep down in the core of your being, of your mind, your body, your spirit, your immune system, God, everything. And follow that, and never give up on that, and you will thrive no matter what is going on. It's one of the most important things. I'd say probably the most important thing when dealing with these kind of issues is your attitude. It's our attitude. It's how we perceive reality and how we respond to whatever shifts are taking place on a personal level and a collective level, which we're all going through together. And as long as we can remain as at peace as possible, and stable and balanced inside, and allow ourselves to not give in to fear, not give in to appearances, no matter what they seem to be, then we have what it takes to face this and overcome it. And I felt at times, there was times when I felt that this is bigger than me. My body was telling me, you're dead. You can't survive this. My body was hurting and aching and saying all these nasty things, and I'm like, yeah, okay then. I said, yeah, I'm gonna die. I said, I'm gonna die. But I'm not gonna die right here. I'm not gonna die right now. I'm gonna die when I'm ready to, and I'm not in any rush. I'm gonna die when I'm an old man, or when God wants me to die. I'm not in a rush, right? So, and in doing that, and coming to terms with all that, I faced these things, and I healed, and I am here. Here I am. I'm feeling great. It's a lot of energy coursing through my body right now, but I feel the divine here, and the divine will do that. It'll guide you, it'll help you, it'll heal you, and it'll show you the way. You just need to have the faith and the certitude and determination, and you'll get that, and you'll have that. So yeah, I hope you're doing well. I hope you're feeling great, and I hope, we're going through some amazing changes right now as human beings all around the world. We're going through this together in a huge way, and it's exciting. It's sort of kind of terrifying for a lot of people. It's really intense, and so I just wish you the best, and I ask God to bless and take care of you and help you to thrive in these times, no matter how difficult it might seem, and to know that you're not alone, to know that you're loved. We aren't alone. There's a lot of people going through this kind of thing right now. So, I mean, just know you're not alone, and you're blessed, and you're loved, and there's people out there who care, and just never give up. Don't give up. Rage, rage, rage against the dying of the light. Do not go gentle into that dark night, my friend. Fight, fight, fight. If you have to, fight, fight, fight. Get that soul, that fighter soul going, that strength inside deep down in your heart and mind, and fight it off and fight it off. Never give up on what you know is right. Never give up in what you know deep down that you can overcome. Got to find that within you. And if you haven't ever felt that way, you got to find it. You will find it. So search for that, my friends. Search for that. And I wish you nothing but much love and respect. And until next time, you take care.